This Detroit Tigers pick is brought to you by our friends at Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your purchase. You can use those tickets because the Detroit Tigers have selected center fielder Max Clark out of high school with the number 3 overall pick. It is not Wyatt. Folks are going to riot. It is Max Clark going to the Tigers at 3. I know he's an Indiana product. He's not necessarily a hometown guy, but he is from closer to them. Do you think this was a money thing? Do you think this was a talent thing? What is your opinion here, Jeff?
I would say money. Max Clark has kind of let it be known that he's cheaper to sign, is what it sounds like. Everyone and their mother was talking about him as the guy to save some bucks. So it feels like maybe, there's a lot of talk about trying to float someone like Charlie Soto, someone from that tier, Thomas White. Maybe they're trying to float someone. It is interesting because the front office came from the Giants, where it's one of the most conservative front offices in the draft, and they went with the prep player here. To go back to my original point, I took the last 16 years of draft, 2016, enough time to get value, and took the top 15 picks, the best players in the draft. And to get to at least 6 WAR, which is like 2 good years, only 33% of prep outfielders got there, as opposed to 42% of college. So it's a big risk. I think both guys are center fielders. I think if Max Clark went to school for 3 years, you're hoping he becomes Wyatt.
Yeah, it's something to me when I look at these two prep guys. Max Clark felt more like the Dylan Cruz mold as far as not as good, obviously, as Cruz. I don't think he's on the same tier as Cruz, but something where his power doesn't necessarily stand off the page to you, but he's a consistent offensive performer. He's going to have a plus hit tool. He's going to have an average to above average power tool. He is a Vanderbilt commit. That's a common thing we see with all these top draft picks, and they know they're going to lose these guys in the class. But to me, I felt like he's probably a safer prep pick than Walker Jenkins, but Walker Jenkins, because of the power, had a better ceiling as far as a prep guy. So Clark over Jenkins, solely a money thing here, I think.
Yeah.
But
and he's a sure center fielder, if you want to talk positional value, where Jenkins is probably. I'm seeing some talk that Langford might not be going 4 either. So I'm just going to throw some fuel to the fire that this could get a little weird. Just saying that. So we'll have to see what's going to occur, but I think it's not going to be Langford to the Rangers either. But yeah, I think if you're Max Clark he's a center fielder all the way. So if you're looking at positional value, I can see that over Jenkins, but I have Clark 6 on my personal board. So I'm a little bit different than most. Most have a clear top 5. Yeah. But he's a good player. I can't pass on one of those 3 big college guys. Like if you were running a room, could you have passed on Langford?
See, in the Tigers situation, I don't think I could have passed on it because this team needs so much of a infusion of talent. They've had these guys they've taken early, Spencer Torkelson or Riley Green. The development hasn't necessarily worked out like we thought they would. They're coming around, but it's not necessarily been a smooth progression for these guys. And so Wyatt Langford, to me, felt like a better decision simply because he's had more high-level experience. I wouldn't say he's been developed more. He's coming from Florida. We've had that conversation ad nauseum. It's going to come up every time a Florida pitcher gets taken, when Hurston Waldrop gets taken. It's going to come up when Rhett Lauder gets taken from Wake Forest because they're the flip side of that.